Hi everyone, I'm Jill from Livinfrance. So the webinar is starting to start in 2 minutes, but I saw that someone just asked a question on the chat. So nice to meet you, Abdullah. I'm Abdullah from Pakistan. I have applied for the Livinfrance scholarship. Can you please guide us? What are the criteria or its accession? All right. Regarding the scholarship, you find all the necessary information on our website directly, which is like bourse.livin-france.com. Because like this webinar is like we'll talk about the housing in France only. So yes, let's wait a bit. While watching the other, like if you have any question, you can just write down on the chat, and I'd be glad to just reply to you guys. So hi everyone, hi. Don't hesitate, like if you have any question, to use the chat, and at the end of the webinar, like I will just reply for all of you. Okay, so I think we can start now. So hi everyone, I'm Tia from Livinfrance. So I'll just introduce you some guidelines to rent a housing in France as an international student. We know that it may be complicated to just come and like just live in a different country. That's why it's very important for us like to introduce you how like the country works for the rental market. So let's get started. Okay, so find your accommodation in France. So first of all, how does it work? How does the French rental market works? So the first things before knowing like anything else is to have a guarantors. So what is a guarantor? A guarantor is someone that you can rely on in case of unpaid rent. It means like, for example, if you can't pay your rent, your guarantor will pay your rent at your place to the landlord. If you can justify having guarantors, like 90% of the case, the landlord will just reject your application, because for the landlord he needs some security. He needs to know that if you can't, like if you're not able to pay your rent, someone else can just pay it for you. So having guarantors is essential. 90% of the time you will get rejected if you don't have any guarantor. Second thing, you need to know that the housing demand is higher than the housing offers. Every year we have the same issue because for one room, one apartment, we have like 10 to 20 applications. So you need to know that you'll be in competition with others. The other thing is most of the offers, they are displayed 1 month in advance. Why? When someone just leaves the accommodation, they need to notice the landlord 1 month prior that they will leave the apartment, that they will leave the accommodation. That's why we only know like 1 month before the availability date of the apartment. For example, if you're looking for an apartment for September, you're pretty sure that we don't have like availability for September, because like all of them will appear in August. If you see like some availability now, like for the 1st May, it means that the room is available now, and it must be taken like within 1 month. And the last things, in France, most of the students pay 1 to 2 months in advance to secure their property. It means that they arrive in September, but they pay the rent from July. So July and August, to make sure that they have something when they arrive in the city of their study. So why? It's because like if you wait until August to book your room for September, like we won't have anything. Um, you see, to understand, like the end of the study in France is around like April, like May. So most of our availability is like this month. It's in May, and people like they prefer to book in advance to make sure that they have something, you know. And because the thing is, like, if you book your room now and you start your lease, your rental contract from July, you will have like a higher chance to get accepted by the landlord because you will have like less competitors. Because in high season, like we receive 8 times more implications than in low season. Like for example, for the same room, if you apply like this month or in June, you'll get like a higher chance because maybe like 1 or 2 people will just apply for the same room. But if you just wait 1 or 2 months, we will have like 10 or 20 applications. So, what to do? So, first of all, define your search criteria. Define your budget, if you want to live in with like other people, if you prefer to live alone, if you have like a specific like preferred area, and like what's your budget as well. Second, find out about neighborhood and average rent. You should know that if you want to live in the city centers, the rent will be higher than living outside the city centers. For example, like in Lille, if you want to live in city center, you'll be paying around like 550 to 600 euros, and if you can live outside the city center, it will be like more around like 500, 450, you know. So just check this information, because if you want to live in the city center but you have the budget of like 400 or 350, it won't be possible to find something. And yes, so the second thing, like the third thing, is adapt your budget to your needs and the market price. The market price is super important, because otherwise like you will lose some opportunity and you will lose like your time, because you will have like some defined, you know, like your criteria that, and you will just discover that they can't match the rent that you can allow, you know. And the last thing is the rental contract start date. It must be as close as possible to the availability date. Let me explain. Yep. Imagine the room is available from June 1st, but you want to arrive like the 1st of August, because you will arrive at that time. Then you will just send your application to the landlord asking him if you can start your lease from August 1st. But the thing is, if the landlord just accepts your application and to start your lease from August 1st, it means that he will lose 2 months of rent from the 1st of June to the 1st of August. So what he will do, like I think he will prefer to just wait and to see if someone else can start the lease before your start date, you know. So imagine like you apply from August 1st, but someone else start the lease from July 1st because he pay 1 month in advance to make sure that he have something. Then the landlord will prefer to take the applicant A with the lease that start from July 1st, because in that case the landlord will just lose 1 month of rent and no 2 months of rent. That's why like the start date of your lease must be as close as possible to the availability date. I know that it may be complicated, you know, to pay 1 month in advance or 1 month and a half to make sure of that, but I swear, like if you wait too long, you won't be able to take to get a house. All right. So when to apply? That's the question. Well, it's better to apply 1 to 2 months before it's better to apply 1 to 2 months before your arrival date, because you'll make sure that you have the most of our offers available. But the thing is, you need to make the difference between the start date of your lease and your arrival date, because you can start your lease, your rental contract from July 1st, and you can arrive in August 1st. So you the thing that you pay 1 month in advance is just to secure your accommodation, because if you're not going to do this, someone else will do that. You should know also that most of our property, they are available in May. As I told you, like most of the students just left their accommodation in that period. So we have like the I would say like 90 to 95% of our offers displayed on our website. And mid-July, we only have like 20% of our availability. So 20% mid-July. And we say like the beginning of August, we only have maybe 5 to 10%. And the remaining properties, they are like with the higher rent, like I would say 700, 800. It's because like someone else like prefer to pay, like I would say 2 weeks or 1 month rent in advance to secure the house, and it can be a bit tricky. That's why I would recommend you, if you can, to just pay like I would say 2 weeks to 1 month rent in advance to secure your accommodation. So now it's maybe a bit early, just book your room, but it's better if you can just check all of our offers like from the beginning of May, and check if there is something that can just match with you. Don't hesitate to negotiate with your landlord as well, or your Livinfrance agent, to see if you can find, like the perfect date that can match with the landlord and match with your like budget as well. So our advices: pay 1 to 2 months to secure accommodation if possible. Don't wait until August to book your accommodation. This is the worst idea ever, I would say, because every year we have like students that just came in August saying that there is nothing available, or like just like something which is like very expensive. So it's better to check them like May, June, July max, because after that like it will be very complicated for you. And check our offer every day if something new appears, because you should know that it's not like a fixed list, of availability. Like if someone just left the accommodation, then new offer will just appear on our website. Oh, well, I just talked about our website, but if you're like using another website which is not Livinfrance, just be aware of scam, because there are a lot of scam, especially for the housings. So be careful with that, and always check if like the person or the offers is legit. So for the required document, I would recommend you to just prepare all your required document before applying, because it's better to have like a complete application to send to the landlord. So usually for the regular French landlord, like private or public one, you need your ID document, so passport or ID, a school certificate, your proof of residence, like if you're living abroad, and a proof of income, and a copy of your guarantor ID if you're a student. What do you mean? As soon as you're a student, you need someone to guarantee you. As I told you like at the beginning, the guarantor will be the one paying your rent in case of you cannot pay your rent. So you need like the proof of residence for you and your guarantors, and the proof of income of your guarantor as well. So the three last pay slip, and like the copy of your ID. With Livinfrance, we just make it like simpler, because we know that it can be a bit complicated to find like someone and to be his guarantor. Yes, if you're looking for a property in France, the guarantors, I would recommend you to get a French guarantors, because like if the landlord just received an application with a landlord that live abroad, he can he can just think, okay, his guarantor is living abroad. If I have something, if I have an financial issue with the renters, it would be very complicated for me to get the money back from the guarantor because he's living abroad. So having a French guarantor is better, is way better. Just to talk again about Livinfrance, first, we know that it's complicated to have a French guarantor, especially if you live abroad. How can you just have a French guarantor? That's why we only ask an ID document, so a passport, and your school certificate, and that's it. So, our Livinfrance solution. So, as I told you, we know that having a guarantor can be a bit complicated. That's why if you apply with us through our platform, you don't need a guarantor. Plus, most of our offers, they are rent all inclusive with water, electricity, and internet. But make sure to just check all of the charges before. You also have a personal support. When you just register on our platform, you will get access to one of our agents, your dedicated agent. And if you don't know where to start or where do you want to live, then you can just ask your agent by sending your requirement, your budget, your estimated arrival date, your duration of stay, and then our agent will just propose you a list of offers that match your requirement. All of our housing, they are eligible for APL. If you don't know what is an APL, I'll just summarize it. The APL is a financial help provided by the government to help you to pay your rent. It means, for example, if you pay your rent 500 euros, the government can help you by giving you 100 euros. So at the end, your rent will only be 400 euros. You can also book from your couch with our online booking. All of our offers, they are certified and verified by our team, and secure payment. We only accept payment from PayPal and credit cards because we just want to avoid some issue, some financial issue. And if you just go through another platform and they ask you for a transfer money or something like that, I would say 80% of the time it'll be a scam. So be aware of that as well. You will also have I also give you a discount code on our booking fees. You can save up to 100 euros on our booking fees by using this code, which is LivinTube10. So don't hesitate to use it. It will expire mid-May, so use it as soon as you can. And our website, livin-france.com. So if you have any question, you can just use the chat. I'll just reply all of them. You can also use our contact form if you have any question regarding your housing and if you have any doubt or need any assistance. And you can also write us a little email on hello@livin-france.com. Okay, so Jatate, coucou, when we'll know the result of the scholarship. Okay, just you to know, with Livinfrance, we also organize a scholarship. So don't hesitate to check it. And for the result, it will be on July 10. When will accommodation for international students are open? Well, we have maybe 80% of our offers available now, so don't hesitate to check our website. What about student home? Is it the same? I suppose that you talk about student accommodation or student residence. We don't offer any student residence now, but we prefer to offer a student flat share because we know that coming to a foreign country that you don't know anyone, having a flatmate, it's a very good experience because you can meet a lot of people in the same place, at the same place. How do I get my proof of my guaranteed income? For the proof of your guaranteed income, it must be his 3 last pay slip. So if you ask him for this document, I pretty sure he will be able to provide it. How do I find a French guarantor if you if you don't use Livinfrance eventually? Well, it's complicated to find a French guarantor if you don't use Livinfrance. Uh, if you have like family or friends that can be your guarantor, it can be good. Otherwise, you have some guarantor that you can pay. I think about Guarant Me. It's one of our partners as well, and you can just use it if you don't have any guarantors. It's and the price depends of the rent of your accommodation. Okay, so okay, I'm watching. Like, don't hesitate. If you have any question or any doubt, we can just chat now. Mm, well, I think I can give you like my last advice. Okay, I think I can give you some advice to avoid being scammed. If you have any doubt when you just see offers, I advise you like to just talk with the landlord, and as soon as you just get like his email address or like his name, first name, last name, I would advise you to just copy paste this email address or his last name and first name to in Google plus scam, and you will see directly if it's a scam or not, because a lot of people they're sharing their experiences with scamming, so you make sure that it's a scam or not. Another question. Um, just like maybe I can summarize like 5 useful tips for you if you're looking for an accommodation in France. Let me just summarize for you. First, be aware of the French rental market. Um, like get informed, just check the average rent, the neighborhood, the transportation, if it's near your school, if it's in your housing. Define your criteria. I'd advise you to just have like maybe 2 to 3 requirements. For example, okay, I can live with other people, but with maximum 5 other flatmates. I would prefer having a private bathroom because I want to have my privacy. And the other thing, it can be outside from the city center, but it must be nearby a public transportation to just reach my school or like the city center like easily. The second tips is to be prepared with all of the required documents. Well, if you just go through Livinfrance, you only need your ID and your school certificate, so it's a bit easy. Oh, and if you don't have your school certificate now or your acceptance letter now, you can still apply for it, and you can provide us your school certificate later on. There is no issue with that. My third tip, it would be it'll be about your budget. As I told you, like the French rental market, it's a competition. You'll be fighting with other competitors. So if you want to maximize your application, I would advise you to provide like several guarantor if it's possible, to pay 1 to 2 months rent in advance if it's possible, and if you can just maybe like delete 1 or 2 requirement if it's possible, to be like very flexible with that. So Patricia, can my coordinator of my university be my guarantor? Well, I think it's more about asking him, but I know that some school can be your financial guarantor for housings, for some rental, so you must ask them if it's possible or not. But it won't be your coordinator, but more your school, your university. Okay, guys, so thank you for listening. This webinar will be in reply, so if you want to check this again, don't hesitate. If you have any question or need any assistance, like you can just check with our agent. We know that like actually we receive maybe 20 to 30 email from people looking for the housing. So don't hesitate. Our agent will just help you and redirect you in the better solution. Merci à toi, Sodia. Okay, so see you guys.